Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Kristina Bak and I am the author of the Khunda. So today I wanted to go over visualizing characters. So if you've seen my last few videos have been about characters, and I really like having visuals. I'm a very visual person. I have to see things to really kind of understand it. So I have to have physical, something to look at when I'm developing characters and when I'm working through my stories. I will even argue with some of these visuals, which is really fun, as to, you know, why would they do this? Where are they going with this? Why would they do that? So it just kind of helps me work out my storyline. So today, we're just gonna go through a couple of ways that I use to have visuals for my characters and for my story, because I do tend to use them for the entire book, different locations, as well as the characters. So when you're reading a book, when you're just a reader and you're reading a book, generally you visualize what you're reading. So you can actually see this little movie playing in your head about what's going on in the book as you read it. If we're visualizing in our head when we're reading, why not visualize while we're writing? So that could be having a really good imagination in your head and just visualizing it from there. It could be having physical pictures that you've put onto a board. It could be having a board online. It could be having in Scrivener for the character description parts. They do have spots where you can put pictures as well. So things like this tend to help us with visualizing a story as we write. Another thing I tend to do, and I don't know if I'm the only one in this. If you're not, if you're like me and you talk to your characters while you're writing, please put that in the comments, because I feel a little crazy when I'm doing it. And you know, it'd be great if I didn't feel crazy. So I do have a pushpin board that has visuals on it, and I will show you that in just a minute. But I actually have yelled at a character before because either they just, something wasn't working with them. I didn't know where they would go with this, what kind of decision they would make. So yeah, I've yelled at my characters before because it just gets so frustrating when you can't figure out what this person would do and you created this person. So it's really frustrating. Another thing with all of these creative different ways to visualize, it's also a good way to share your vision. So as a writer, you will know that you do tend to, you know, with the work that you're working on, you did tend to share information about it if you're on social media, with friends, things like that. This is also a great way to share these visuals. Harry Potter, going back to a Harry Potter reference here, has so many visuals. And I just found out, because I'm late to the game apparently, that there's this entire YouTube channel that is specifically all of these ambient noises from Harry Potter. So it's like if you're in the Ravenclaw common room, it's noises like that. If you're in the Gryffindor common room, it'd be noises like that. Like, it's ridiculous. And I just found it and I'm like, how have I just found this out? But so having that visual, having something like that really helps you get into the story more. So it's another way to like get people interested in your story, is to have visuals and aesthetic boards and things like that that you can share, so you can explain to them, this is kind of what my vision is while I'm writing. On that note, let's get started.
Okay, so here we are on my Pinterest site. So I really love Pinterest. If you follow me for any amount of time, you probably know that. I do go to the Pinners conference every year and I flipping love it. Here we are at Pinterest.com. This is my author board. So I have an author boards site, but then I also have my personal one, and my personal one does happen to have couple hundred boards on it. It's kind of ridiculous, but I do have boards for everything. And then I have one specifically for my writing and for my author stuff. So let's get into this. So these are my boards. I have my videos, and then I have writing decor. So these are all going to be little posters and little sayings that I absolutely love, that I want to put in my office at some point in time. This is character inspirations. So I found this is a great board to have just characters in there. So anytime I start a story, or if I feel like I want to change a character or something like that, this is a great place to go. You can look up just character inspirations and find a bunch of these pictures. So I just put them up here. Over here, I have writing quotes, which I do feel like I need to add a couple more to that one right there. Look at that. And then I have going into some books. So I'm a big fan of landscapes. We're going to skip this one for a second. Come over here. I'm a big fan of landscapes. I love nature. I love being outside. And if it's beautiful and mystical looking, I flipping love it. So this board is all about landscapes, and it's just gorgeous, beautiful landscapes. This one right here actually has to do with the Khunda. So these are going to be with the Khunda aesthetics. Over here we have locations. So I actually have locations, and then if we click on it, actually, it'll show you, you can add sections. I was going to start adding different sections to it. So I have locations, and this will be locations for, in the Khunda. So it'll be, different places that they go. Whitefish, Montana. So if you haven't ever heard me talk about whitefish, I could probably talk about it for years. Whitefish, Montana, I found while doing research, trying to find a location on Earth for my main characters to be from. And I found Whitefish, Montana, which is now my hopefully future home. I fell in love with this place. It's absolutely stunning. It has, a real winter versus in Georgia where we don't. And just look at these beautiful views. So I fell in love with it. So that is the main on Earth location. Here, just kind of like funny stuff, writer funny stuff, which is hysterical. Just makes me giggle. And then I'll have writing tips, videos, like videos I do, and then writing tips for blog posts. And this is actually for another book, so we're going to scoot back up here. So let's go into the Khunda aesthetics. Like I said, you can have different sections in your, on your boards. So I have the Khunda aesthetics. So I have different sections under this. So these are going to be character aesthetics, so, visuals of my characters. Anywhere they go off planet, I'm going to put here. Things about Whitefish, Montana are going to go here. This is actually on the Khunda. So I found, if you look up, I think it's under spaceship aesthetics or spaceship inspiration or something like that, you will find these pictures that look like spaceships. And yeah, I've spent hours on those looking for different parts of what I would visualize for the Khunda. So that's what that looks like. The capital planet, so the main planet they go to the first time, this is what it's going to be looking like. Has a lot of green space, a lot of white and silver buildings, very clean, very gorgeous, beautiful space, just absolutely beautiful space. And then the jump ship that they have, I've kind of looked at different jump ships that I kind of wanted to do. I'm still not sure which design I like the most, but those are kind of just inspirations for the jump ship. Lexi's cottage. So Lexi, one of the main characters in Whitefish, she has a small home that she's built. And these are kind of just going to be inspiration for that small home. As you can tell, I do like the cabiny look, but then I really like this look over here. It's just small, and then, she has big fluffy beds, beautiful decor. She's going to be a very, crisp, clean, white furniture, brown woods, natural looking things, a lot of the earth tones, a lot of the natural tones. So that's kind of what's going on that board. So I will use these boards to help me visualize. This is one of the planets they end up on, which is very much like a Renaissance is what I was kind of going for. Castle with these beautiful green grounds with they are going to have a hedge maze. And so that's kind of where these come from. And then I was looking at all these different castles, trying to get ideas for which castle I'd want them, to be in. It's just either way, it's absolutely stunning. And that's kind of what this board does for me. It gives me that feeling of those huge grounds, the hedge maze, the beautiful castle, things like that. So that's what I've done for aesthetics. And that's one of the ways that I visualize my characters. So another way is going to Canva. Canva.com is a great way to, you can use it for free, or you can also pay and have kind of extended things you can use. So this is a great way to do YouTube thumbnails, Instagram posts, social media stuff, as well as graphics, presentations. You see all these things that they have. Photo collage, I tend to go with that one a lot. Blog banners, these are all they're going to have a bunch of different creative ways to make anything that you need. So what I've done before, so these are a couple of examples of what I've done on Canva when it comes to creating, visual boards or aesthetic boards or something like that in a digital form. So these are the characters for the Khunda. So these are going to be a lot of the main characters that you'll see in there. This is how I visualize them. This is also on my website. So I have all of their pictures, all these pictures individually, cut out, printed out, and put on a pushpin board. I have them on my website. I have them saved on my computer. They're on my Pinterest page, things like that. So I have these pictures everywhere. But these are my characters. So this helps me be able to look at them and say, all right, this is, when I'm describing the character, okay, this is what they look like. Then when I'm thinking about, what would this character do? I actually do tend to look at these pictures and think, what would this character do? Would this character be more, this one's very laid back. This is Prince Edward. He is extremely laid back. He's very much, work hard, party hard. So, he's going to have a different way of reacting than my main character here, Lexi, who keeps getting covered up by a Pinterest save button. But she is very much, she has goals and she wants to meet these goals and she's going to, get there. So she's more strict. She doesn't tend to party hard and things like that. Z over here, her best friend, who has a very party attitude, but yet again, when it comes to the Khunda and it comes to the crew and it comes to, his captain, his best friend, Lexi, he's very much strict. He's very much like, no, this is, we've got to make sure this works. So each of these characters are going to have their own personalities. And, going through, I did find these are all actors and actresses and, in this case, CGI, but these are all people that, they have a million different pictures of them out there. And I just had to find the pictures that fit the way my character is going to be. So it's these pictures of them. And it just kind of reminded me, like this one right here. I flipping love him. He's in Star Trek. He's also in Riddick. And I can't tell you, like, the many different pictures. There's some where he's just smoldering sexy. There's some where he's, has that strict face like he has there. And there's some where he's laughing. So I had to find a picture for him that fit the Sarge, so they call him Sarge, and had to fit that Sarge role. So you just kind of find pictures that remind you of your characters or remind you of those aesthetics that fit for your work in progress. Here, I've also done another example of it. This is an inspirational one. This is the background for my laptop. So this is just kind of has inspirational writing quotes, as well as just some things that make me want to write and make me want to, make me feel good. They give me the good feels. So this is actually these two. I know this one is. I think this one is too. But these are actually Whitefish, Montana, which, like I said, I have completely fallen in love with that location. And hopefully when I retire, at least, I'm going to be moving there. Another thing is this right here makes me want to just sit down and write. It just gives me the good feels to be like creative and want to cuddle up with a sweater and tea and start writing. And then these over here are great sayings that just remind me that being a writer is not easy and has its ups and downs, but it's totally worth it in the end. So that's it for Canva. All right, let's just say we decided to Google someone and, you pick this actress and you're like, ooh, or you found this picture on Google and you're like, this fits my character. Let's go with, I don't know which one. She's all blonde in these. I like her as a brunette too. She's pretty as a blonde, but I really like her as a brunette better. Let's just pick a random one. Let's say that, oh, here we go. Let's say you're writing Katniss. And this picture right here was like, that's my character. That's what I'm going to do. So you take this picture, you save it to your computer. You can put it onto Canva, like we did with this one, and then print that whole thing out like that. Or you can put it into a Word document and then print them out and then cut them separately and then pin them to your board like this. So I have managed to find my characters, print them out, cut them out, and I put them on this pushpin board just so that every time I go in and out of my office, I do see their faces and it reminds me, these are my characters and these are real people and I have to make them that way. Another thing is if you don't want to put them on a pushpin board, you can put them on Gator board, which is a thicker kind of like foam board. and put that on your wall, or just put that, you know, in your office somewhere, or somewhere you can see it. Or you can also put it into a notebook, one of your writing notebooks, and that could be your first page is your characters, or you can just, you know, put this, like, say this is your main character, Katniss, right here. Put that on the top of the page and then write all the information about Katniss underneath it. So that's a good visual to have as well.
So those are just a couple of creative ideas on how to visualize your characters and help develop them into real people. So that's all I have for you guys today. Go ahead and check me out at my website at KristinaBakBooks.com. That has a little bit of information about the Khunda as well, and I will be posting some of my aesthetic boards about characters, about locations, and things like that on there as well. So keep checking back, because I'll do that from time to time. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really hope it helped you guys out, and I will see you next time. Bye!